Hello and welcome back to TechnoSurgeon YouTube channel. So we already knew Intel has some issues in the past where they laid off the employees and such, but now it is happening again. As you can see, Intel is planning to lay off up to a whopping 30% of the workforce, cutting over 1500 jobs. As CEO Lee Bouton declares that there won't be any more blank checks. As we can see on the screen here, was expected to come up with strategies that could be aggressive but necessary to steer Intel towards an economic rebound. And one of the core aggressive strategies adopted by TAN is widespread layoff. Intel has been reporting a process of laying off for several weeks now. However, in the recent Q2 earnings, the firm revealed that its plan to have a headcount of 7,500 employees, which marks a reduction of more than 30% of its workforce from a year ago. They already laid off many employees in the past 2 years as such, and they're now laying off 30% of their employees. It is an absolutely bad move, and still don't know how they will rebound from this. Yeah, they fired Pat Gelsinger, but I don't think it was a right move also. As we can see on the screen here, Intel will cancel its 14A and the following nodes if it can't win a major external partner. Move Woodside said leading edge nodes to TSMC and Samsung, which is also a bad thing if they cancel their 14A node, because yeah, they need to cancel it if they don't get a partner such as maybe Samsung, not Samsung, but other manufacturers who needs this process node of 14A, like Micro, Micron, or any other, which will use which will use that 14A node. But if they don't secure it, they will stop it, which is a bad move because we need someone else in this segment, in the semiconductor segment, other than TSMC and Samsung, and TSMC already is leading. Next up, we have some bad news. It comes from RTX 5090 and its melted power connector. We already knew many cases of it, but this is one of the cases where it was documented, as it was done while playing Wu-Chang, which resulted in the burnt 16-pin power connector on GeForce RTX 5090 despite a proper connection. As you can see on the screen here, it has been melted. Um, in this image, you can see that the GPU has been resetted correctly, but here you can see a little bit of a gap where the user has argued that the gap between the port and the connector in the peak, this was as far as the connector could go inside the GPU port for over 20 minutes. The GPU ran at 100% and he saw no sign of smoke or burning smell, and the temperature were below 78 degrees Celsius, which indicated a good connection. Nonetheless, the connector did suffer from overheating. As you can see, the bottom rows of the pin was melted. As you can see on the screen here, the bottom pins are reportedly been melted, and the John says the supposed gap was at the top connector, which is over here, where the bottom pins were destroyed. And yeah, clearly this 16 pin connector by NVIDIA is having its own issues where they gets melted pretty easily because this GPU pulls 600 watts, and those tiny pins carry carries most of their voltage from towards the GPU, and since these are so thin, they are prone to melting. And the thing is, they already made design changes to it, but they should just like skip the 16 pin and do something else. Next up, we already knew AMD Magnus, which is the GPU for Xbox or PS6, which AMD is working on with another partner. I already made a video on it, and it comes from Most Low Dead. But now we also got a major news. It essentially comes from Most Law is Dead also, and according to him, we see there's like many other GPUs which are in the work, and they are divided into 80 and 82. 82 is going to be the low end and 80 is going to be the high end GPU SKU, and this just shows that AMD is going to bring back their 10,000 series with RDNA 5, like they are going high end. This just confirms it, and as you can see, it is said a desktop gaming GPU over here, and the other high end is going to be for like the Pro series for AI/ML, and there are other three low end SKUs. But the major thing in the desktop is it is based on Gen 5 PCI Gen 5 support. But the CUs is interesting. It is going to come with 154 cores, which is interesting. Like it's doubling down nearly 2.5 times RX 9070 XT cores. So it is going with GDDR7 with 36 GB of GDDR7 memory. So yeah, they are going higher in GPU memory also, and along with it, 154 cores is going to be a literal beast. And this just not it's just not it, because as you can see in the lower end SKU, we are also getting 12 GB of GDDR7 memory. So this just shows they are just keeping 8 GB of video memory, which is interesting. As you can see on the screen here, these are just a placeholder names. Give me a second. As you can see on the screen here, these are just placeholder names, and this also comes from most is dead. As you can see, RX 10090 XT, it is a 80 die. The CPU is 154 cores compute units, so it's going to be more cores. It is going to be like 2.5 times more cores compared to the 7900 XTX, and it is going to come with a board power power draw of 380 watts, which is also higher. 40 megabytes of L2 cache, 384-bit bus, 36 GB of GDDR7, which is insane. But the thing is, scratch match performance against RTX 4080, you can see it is upwards of 364 times. It is 264 times the performance of RTX 4080, and according to most lawyers, that the estimated equivalent GPU performance is similar to be that of RTX 6090, or maybe a little bit higher than RTX 6090. And as we can already saw with RX 9060 XT, 9070 XT, with their RDNA 4, they were able to get more performance from its CUs. Along with it, their ray tracing performance were higher. If they do it again, and if it is 264 times the performance of RTX 4080, it is going to put NVIDIA in a pretty difficult position, because it can blow out RTX 6090 with AMD's high end. The next up in the queue is obviously 10070 XT. 64 CUs, literally a lot of drop off. It is similar CUs that of 9070 XT. 275 watts, 192-bit bus, 18 GB of GDDR7 memory, but the performance is going to be 120 times of RTX 4080. So it is going to be middle of RTX 5080 and RTX 4090. Yeah, it is not that high. It is a high upper mid-range card, so it is to be expected. The 1070 GRE is going to be having 48 CUs, 235 watts board power, and 15 GB of GDDR7. Interesting move. 95 times of RTX 4080 performance between RX 9070 and RTX 4080 super performance target. 10060 XT, 44 CUs, 16 12 GB of GDDR7 memory. So it's interesting, they are skipping 8 GB, and they should have done it, but now they are doing it. 64% between RTX 5060 Ti and RTX 5070 performance. So yeah, it is to be expected for this low end cards. But the interesting thing is the pricing of this thing. Documents later shows that 1070 XT is going to be targeting at less than 550 bucks, and if they do it for this level of performance, it is going to be an insane price to performance card. And also 1090 XT is targeting at 1690 performance. Nevertheless, everything is estimated because it is still early, but this leak just shows AMD is well in works, and they are planning to go all out with RDNA 5 UDNA 1 architecture. But yeah, that's it from me today. What do you think about the news? Sound of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll meet you in the next one. Peace out.